Ladies and gentlemen, just as we start today, just wanted to share for those who have not already heard, one of the drone community, Rick Halber, has passed away sadly. We just wanted to recognise Rick as a really nice guy, number one. Number two, someone who's very generous with himself, of his time, and just really reached out and loved everyone in the community. I can only say that. So we'll miss you, Rick. Anyway, on with the show. Hello, John, and hello and welcome to everyone else. No audio from John. You were there before, so stand by while my producer does some magic. Are you there? John, you've never sounded better. Okay, what do we got here? Are you muted, John, at your end?
I hear him.
Okay, you can hear him? Okay,
Yep.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's see. Our first story we were going to talk about was CASA. Let me see if I can play a video. We're going to go to story 1.01. And John, you're trying to communicate with your mouth through the goggles. Is that what you're trying to do, to beam it up?
Anything.
Yeah. He's back. What did you do?
I don't know. I just going to check this out, whether I've got some communication issues or whatever.
Okay,
with the
we're
bandwidth.
here now.
I'm back.
We're here now, and we've got John. Welcome. Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Osby Drone.
How's your week been?
Fantastic. Look at this, hey?
Oh, you look like you're from a Star Wars kind of thing, with this growth coming out of your head.
Man, I tell you what, these are my new sleeping goggles. You know, my iPads as well. I can't take them off. They're so comfortable. And this thing is such an incredible aeroplane. Just loving it. Great fun.
Yeah, okay. We're going to get into a little bit about that. But before we do anything today, we've got a couple of things. CASA, you've been at the conference. Do you want to briefly talk about the conference first of all, and then we'll have a look at some of the CASA stuff that we've got on the run sheet?
Absolutely, yeah. The conference was amazing this week. ARPAS and Australian Skies in Canberra. Big roll-up, nearly 300 people actually at the conference, and then we had a lot of people there on virtual as well. Talks from CASA, talks from Air Services, the military, all the greatest stuff. I mean, AAUS are the organisation that put...
John, we're getting some... jitter on your internet, but you were there as a talker as well. You were one of the speakers at the conference as well.
And I do. So.
Okay, John, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go and do a different story for the moment, and we're going to come back to you. I'll let you try and reposition your internet, and we'll get back to you in a moment. The first story we're going to look at, 1.01. Gotta love the technology on the internet. I don't know what my wife was signaling to me, but first story, 1.01, we're going to have a look at. There are many places where drones are banned and many laws restricting how, when, and where you can fly. But what if you absolutely must capture a drone shot in one of those off-limits locations? Well, like John and myself and other people, you can get licenses that allow you to do off-limits places. But what if it's really off-limits? Well, you can fake it. San Francisco-based video whiz Karen Cheng has put together some fun ideas of how you can shoot drone shots without using a drone. Here's a quick look at some of the ideas from some of her shots in no drone zones. So what do you think of that one? We've got John still trying to work out his internet, but Grumpy, you're in the background there. What did you think of that?
Oh, well, give him credit for ingenuity. I'll say that much.
Look, fishing line and flying foxes, it's hilarious to have a look at.
Why
And
not?
so,
Yeah.
look, at the end of the day, you want the outcome of what it is you're trying to build.
Yeah, and that's what
yeah.
drones are, just another tool for that, so.
Speaking of tools, we've got you on the screen. Thanks, Grumpy.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is going to be one of those days, so we'll see what happens with John as we go on. Let's have a look at our second story. Going from that one with fake drone shots to the FPV drone. This one is titled Lucy in the Sky. DJI products are stable, which is one reason they are so popular. And the new FPV drone, well, in the right mode, it's child's play. One FPV owner, Fred Alonso, has been flying for about 2 years. After getting his new FPV drone, though, he thought he had thought about giving it to his daughter, and she's only 4 years old. Watch this. This is her first flight.
Okay, go. Go up. Go up, Lucy. Just like on the game. Just like on the game. Go. Just like on the game. Go up. There you go. Go. Give it more. There you go. There you go. Go up. Go up. 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 All right. Good girl. Okay. Stay right there. Now go frontwards with the other one.
Yeah.
All right. You're doing good. You're doing good. Okay.
Daddy, I can see you.
Okay, turn it around the other way. Push sideways a little bit. There you go. Keep pushing sideways. Go. Turn around. Go. Okay, that's good. The other way. Now go the other way. No, turn around the other way. Okay, now go up a little higher now. Okay, now go up higher. There you go.
I
Go
won't
up higher.
watch the
higher.
entire thing there, but you get
Higher
the
up,
idea.
Go up. Okay. now
So
you're gonna
she
stay
started
right
by
there,
learning
and
on
you're
the
gonna use
simulator on the
this
computer.
button here to go forward. This one right here
Wow.
is gonna go forward.
Yeah. Drone shot saying that's cool, and unfortunately the
Yes.
title's not. There it is. It's finally made it.
Yeah.
Try that again.
Yeah.
We're having one of those days with tech today.
Yeah,
You're
of course.
Fine, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool and beautiful to have a look at. A father teaching his daughter. He's only been flying for 2 years and she's only 4 years old. So that's really cool. Lost Girl Hike supporting the female drone population. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Okay.
it sucks that she flies that good at 4, and I've got 60
Yeah.
plus more years on her, and I don't fly near that good. Something wrong with that.
Okay, so John is having internet problems, as you can tell. So here's what we're going to do. The next story is an Australian CASA-related one. So we're going to bring our guest in early to comment and react to this one. So the story is, as I press that button over there, access granted. The Australian Civil Aviation Authority, CASA, now allows Aussie drone pilots to receive automated airspace approvals in Wing Aviation's Open Sky drone safety app. So again, this is the Google people putting this app together. The automated process is a first in the country and will allow pilots to become more productive. The program is rolling out now in beta, which will be available to chief remote pilots holding a REOC. The program will also allow for 3 specific locations to receive the automated process as they're ironing out bugs and issues. So just a couple of locations at the moment, but let's introduce. I pressed that. I pressed that about.
I just want to let the audience know that's watching, I think we're up to 10 drinks now because I started the game before the show. Every time either you turn red or Wirecast screws up, they take a drink. I think our audience should be about halfway drunk now.
Okay. Look, let's cut to John Fleming, who's our guest, who was going to come in a little bit later, but since the other John is not here, let's bring you in. John Fleming, welcome. Hello.
I can hear him, Greg. Why can't you?
Oh,
Hello?
I can hear
there we
Louise.
go. We've got him.
There we go. Good morning, everybody.
My wife put her hand up for that one. She forgot to press the button. Welcome, John. Okay, so yeah, have you heard about this? And what are your thoughts as a chief remote pilot and a trainer yourself?
Yeah, look, I have, and I think it's great. It's it's been a long time coming, I guess, and these things do take time. But what it's going to allow is the REOC holder to get the benefits of his or her REOC now. So, it's a good thing. Being able to fly within 3 nautical miles in certain locations under certain conditions without the need of going through all of the flaming hoops is got to be a good thing.
Yep. And pardon me as I'm wandering over trying to get the other John back in, and I'm back in my chair again.
That's fine.
It's a fun day today.
Gremlins in the system. Gotta love it.
Yeah, Wirecast, we're pressing the disconnect button for John, and welcome to Wirecast. This is the software that we absolutely love to hate. You press the disconnect button, click OK, and nothing happens.
Of course, it's wire crash.
Yeah. And, okay, Lost Girl Hikes, she's finished with her glass. Thank you for that.
People are starting to open up their bottles now. They just gave up on the glass. They just go
I'm
straight,
on the hand
straight out of the
sanitizer
bottle.
at this point.
You're onto the hand sanitizer. Okay, why not? Yeah, okay. Look, John, if you can hear us, come back in under a different name. Call yourself Fred, and maybe that'll get Wirecast to work out that you're a different person. I don't know. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to try it live. I'm going to disconnect you guys momentarily. My producer, can you just press disconnect in the bottom of the rendezvous window?
Well, this
That'll
looks like a train
disconnect.
wreck. Everybody hang on.
Yeah, disconnect everyone. And then click restart or reconnect to the session. Okay, and we've got John back. There we go. See, this is the thing. Wirecast, you think it'd work, but you've got to do all of these weird things and you've got to disconnect everyone else so that John can get back in. But when he came in, he's come back in as a black screen. Is that what you've got as well?
I don't know. Oh,
I've got a frozen screen of John.
yeah, I just got a frozen shot from my side. It's because hey, one thing though, Tyler's working this week. That's a switch.
Yeah, okay. Look, let's do this. Let's go to our next story and see what happens. Anything can happen on this show. Watch me turn red. Okay. And it even brought the title up within no time. Okay, the next one. Thanks to the availability of cheap, powerful autopilot modules, building a small autonomous vehicle is now well within the reach of the average maker, but this one's on the water. Check this out.
Today is the day I will attempt to drive the HSS Banana Slug autonomous boat over 15 kilometers. My last autonomous boat failed to complete this mission. The boat's in the water, and I'm going to get the waypoint mission uploaded here, and then we'll put it in auto mode and cross our fingers. Auto, go. All right, the boat's in auto mode. So graceful, so majestic. The haters said we couldn't do it, but we're doing it. Bye. Oh, first waypoint. God damn it, my computer just died. That sucks.
So I'm not the only one who has problems with technology, and here's what I'm going to say to you. This is a much longer video than what you just saw there, and I've deliberately only kept that much of it to give you the tease. Do go to the description for our show today. Click on the link and watch the full video and support the creators that we highlight in our news section. And I think we've almost got John back.
I see
Yeah,
John's
I know.
back.
Yeah, Joe Blaylock in the
Wait, we
background
gotta
saying
finish
you and
that.
Ken Heron last night both turning red. Ken was turning red last night as well. It's one of those days.
It's wire
John,
crash.
have we got you? We have.
Hi, I'm Fred. Pleased to be with you today.
Hello, Fred. Welcome to the show.
I don't know what that's about. I called myself Fred and it said, okay, you can come on in. I mean, obviously it's had enough of John.
Yeah, I call you lots of things. I know what the answer to the problem is. The fact that we've got two Johns here, it was just too much.
Yeah, look, we fixed it. I'll be Fred today. That's fine. Carry
Hang
on.
on, let me go to the John.
Like I said, a couple of crappers.
Yeah, you'll keep. You'll keep.
Ben T has just done a super chat. This is a donation to the Wirecast Aggravation Fund. I'm aggravated enough because I can't get upgrades and updates for them anymore. They don't like me because I reported too many bugs. But anyway, that's another story.
Boom, boom.
Let's rewind and see if we can go back to the beginning. Story 1.00.
Yeah, it's a good story this week, Greg. The RPAS Australia Skies Conference, CASA releasing so much stuff for us. And look, it was like we're all get together down there. You got all the people, whole of industries there. CASA come along and throw this great big biscuit tin into the mix, and it was very exciting, fantastic. BVLOS operations, we can finally see a window to the finish line now, and they've got 7 scenarios. So basically, what you do is you find out whether your scenario is, non-populous area around buildings or not, or where it is, up to 5,000 feet beyond visual line of sight. You find the scenario that fits your operation, and then you still fill it out. You still got to pay the application fee, which is around $3,000 to do it, but you won't have to wait 6 months anymore. They'll go through the scenario and get you approvals quickly. But the even better one is we're going to have the LANC system or similar here in Australia, which, of course, the US has had for quite a while, works very, very well, and we just couldn't work out why we couldn't have it too. So, and I was going to check with Lloyd. Have you used the LANC system over there, Lloyd?
I haven't. But
Yeah.
then I drop back to my excuse. I'm a vlogger, not a drone guy. So
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good excuse. Anyway, I wouldn't let you there in there either. But look, the interesting thing about it is that it is a really achievable system to have, and it's all done digitally. So what we're looking at is drones being registered. Of course, you've got the accountability and so forth. So then you can log on through the Can I Fly There app, and if you're inside an airport zone, as long as you're outside the approach and departure path, you'll be able to get approval to fly up to a limited height. You might want to just have a look in the gutters or fly around locally and not do too much, or just fly in your backyard for any reason. And so, that's coming. So I got Ben T just put in the chat there. I've used it a couple of times. So, I'd love to hear more about it. And I mean, I've been following it for a couple of years. I remember when it first came out, and it looked like an exciting way to get your approval. So Australia is catching up. And look like we might have jumped ahead even this time.
Okay, so just to review, so we've got the BVLOS consultation. So Again, in the description for our video, go and click on that. You can go to the CASA website if you're an Aussie and put in your feedback and your comments about the process. They'll take that into consideration in their final regulations and so forth. And secondly, the one we were just talking about, the CASA has now launched the ability to get approvals in beta testing mode using OpenSky, the Google app from Wing Aviation, but only in 3 specified test locations at the moment. So it's only in beta mode. But the program will be rolling out after that, after they finish their testing.
Yep, still early days for all of these things.
I'm sorry, my wife is choking over here. She swallowed something down the wrong way. I'm just watching this.
Ouch. So the way it works, of course, is these are all consultations at the moment. So we just got our fingers crossed. But usually, if all goes well, they're hoping to have the BVLOS scenarios in place by August. That's what CASA said. So that's going to be good. Going to be good to have it.
Okay. And at this point, the producer has left the room because she's busy coughing her innards out. This is the funniest show I've had in a while, but let's put this up on the screen. We need to tell her to shush and to be quiet. Or at least that's the topic of the next story. So there's been successful trials from the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology in Australia. They've trialled some new quieter drone propellers. Have you heard about this one, John?
No, I know it's a big deal, though, because the Department of Prime Industries is sort of saying we're going to have some limitations on noise for future drone deliveries, because the first ones we had doing deliveries here were a bit noisy, and even neighbours were complaining. It had 12 vertical motors for safety, and it was just very small motors. They were very noisy. So there's a fair bit of tech going into it now because they want them to be quiet, and it'll mean the difference between, what helicopters can do and what quads can do.
Yeah. And just reading some more info, by the way, thank you for the comment that was up on the screen there. Yes, I was laughing because my wife was laughing while choking. Just so you know, she wasn't
Good.
choking.
Good.
Anyway, so they've tried the new props. The team is working on a project they've produced a prop that produces around 15 decibels less noise than the current market propellers that are around. So that's the kind of results that they're getting. But here's a question for you, John. Is there a correlation between noise and either lift or drag or any of the other aerodynamic forces? Interesting question.
Absolutely. So most of the noise that comes out of a rotating propeller is the propeller itself. You do have engine noise. Of course, you can hear that quite clearly. But, of course, as you know from a helicopter, what you're really hearing is the blades turning. So the more efficiently you can move the air, so we've got different types of propellers. If you look it up, scimitar props with the curved endings on them, elliptical tips and so forth. There's a lot of aerodynamics goes into making propellers quieter. And right now you can hear a Pratt & Whitney 985 in a de Havilland Beaver going over my house. Can you hear that? Isn't that magic?
Yeah, we can hear that. Absolutely. Good timing.
Oh, you
How
go and block
appropriate.
that out. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so we've somehow made it to the end of our first 5 news stories, and this is the time where we normally bring in our guests. So let's press that button
Yeah,
over
let's
here.
do it. Yay.
So here's our guest, and it is John Fleming, take 2 from FPV Australia. Welcome, John.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome. So now that we're not doing what's going on with the show, tell me, who is John Fleming? Who is FPV Australia? And there's another brand that's behind you. Who are they as well?
Yeah, look, FPV Australia is a drone school. Basically, we teach people and certify people how to fly drones. But originally, it started nearly 16 years ago. This is our 15th year now. As Mongrel Gear, those that might or might not know the name Mongrel Gear, we were building and custom fitting stuff to UAVs way back when. And then the short story is I wanted to become certified to fly a drone with a camera and found out it was a very difficult path for someone flying a multi-rotor aircraft. There just wasn't a training course available. And so long and short of it, in September of 2014, I think it was, we were amongst the first to launch. So there was only a couple of us and one other. And slowly now there's a lot more companies on board. And so that's what we do. I've been in the industry, as I said, 15 years. I love it. I live and breathe it every day. It's fabulous fun.
Okay. And a question for the two Johns, just out of interest, have you both met before?
Yes, we have. John may not remember, but at Avalon Air Show, you were down there one year, and I came up. You had a nice stand there, and I actually had one of my godsons with me, who went on to study with you and did his. He lives down in Melbourne, and he did his license with you. He's been on a few jobs with us when we go down to Melbourne. So thank you for that. But yeah, he was very impressed and did a good course with you. But of course,
I ask his name?
His name is Bradley Newell.
Bradley Newell. Wasn't me personally that trained him. Would have been one of my instructors.
It would have been one of your instructors. His father, Martin, it was flew for many years in A320s, yep, and is actually a flight examiner and check captain in A320s. And he's actually been doing a bit of work for us lately because the airlines aren't doing much. His airplanes are all parked on the asphalt.
Yep,
He's waiting to go back to work. He's about to go back into Sims now, and they're starting to ramp up the training again. But, yeah, it was good. And, you know, as I said, Dad's been very interested. He did his license as well, and father and son are enjoying it. But Bradley spoke very highly of you and the course. But we just had that brief moment down there, and I've got a photo, actually. I have to go and look for it. But you and I did do a selfie in Avalon at the time.
There you go.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you had your finger up my nose or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Yep.
Oh, look,
Okay.
Avalon Air Show is a bit of a time. It's really, really cool fun, that Avalon Air Show. It's great. I go down there not for the stand for the business. It's more about having a good time at the air show, but I use it as an excuse to go.
And the company expense never hurts either.
Of course not.
Moving on from that, so okay, you're into drones and quads, you're doing training and you've got your good supply business, happy days. The CASA things that we've just spoken about today, your comments on both of those and where you think CASA should or could be going, and where do you see the future in that big picture of regulation?
Yeah, look, the thing with regulation we have to remember, and you know, these things take time. Getting regulation through Parliament and all of the processes that it has to go through takes time, and we've seen that. It takes time for things to happen, and a lot of the time it's driven by industry, and it's great to see the likes of Google, for example, Google Wing, who are pushing agendas to try and get regulation changed. And there's been a lot of noise about the restrictions on REOC holders. You know, we've got all our licensing and our certifications, but you know, there's a lot of things we can't do, and this is starting to cut that red tape. Yes, it's taken some time, but it takes time. You cannot throw the switch on this quickly. So for things like within the 3 nautical miles, that's a good one that's out there now in beta testing, and that's awesome because there's lots of places that a REOC holder needs to fly, not wants, needs to fly in order to put food on the table. They need to fly in these locations with their drone, and cutting any of that red tape is brilliant. That's a great thing. Yes, it's taken time, but it's here now. Let's be thankful. The BVLOS thing is the next big thing, because the whole purpose of using drone tech a lot of the times is because it's safer, easier, more efficient than doing it a different way. I won't say the old-fashioned way. I'll say a different way. And so cutting that red tape again into the future is a great thing. But I just need to tell people that these things do take time. You can't just do this overnight. But it's great. I'm excited.
Okay. And moving into another topic area that obviously with the name of FPV Australia, you'll be selling DJI's new products, I gather?
Look, it's funny, you know, FPV, the reason we chose the name FPV Australia, because the drones we were building had cameras on them and it was first person view. That's sort of where it came from. It wasn't about flying drones under goggles, but now DJI released this drone called the FPV, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, look, we've got lots of REOC holders that want to fly this drone, and they've got their handcuffs on a little bit because the regulations haven't quite allowed for it easily yet. I put a video up on my own social media a little while ago about the constraints and having to have an EVLOS approval and all that sort of stuff. So even though it's a great bit of kit for the REOC holder that's who I represent, I guess, in this industry, they're still a little bit handcuffed. So we need to get that regulation pushed along as well. And it's coming. I've got whispers. I don't know too much detail, but it won't be long.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do now, I've got John versus John. In the left corner, we've got the John Morrison. And what I'd like to do is have you both talk about the DJI drone and what is legal in Australia. We've had a couple of things from John Morrison, so let's go with John F first.
Sure. Look, the current regulations as it stands, there's no real easy way to grab that FPV drone and just go out into the paddock, stick the goggles on and go flying. There are certain steps you've got to cover first to do that. For the recreational pilot, the easiest and the one I recommend is join the MAAA. What a great organisation. This massive association around the country that gives insurance and all other stuff for the recreational pilot. Join MAAA and they've got means and ways to be able to fly this fantastic bit of kit completely legal and insured. Of course, you've got to follow regulation and all the other bibs and bobs, but you'll have the backing of one of the biggest model aircraft associations that I know. It's fantastic. Okay, and then on the flip side, go on.
So now, John M., I'm going to share with you what John F. said to me when we were chatting the other day, which was that MAAA, and to make sure I'm saying this correctly to John, advised you that you can fly anywhere in the country that's standard operating conditions location, i.e. not in other ways restricted, and you can fly BVLOS, as long as you're doing it under the procedures for the MAAA. Is that what they advised you?
No, we don't have that yet. But what I have so far is that an MAAA field or an Aerosports, there's two organisations, but MAAA certainly have FPV procedures. So you fly at the club, you fly at the model flying field, join the club, they have procedures, you can do it. Now, coming back to the nuts and bolts of this, look, the idea of visual line of sight is containment. So, like flying a model airplane, you've got the airplane probably mostly 300 or 400 meters away from you when you're flying a fast model airplane. That would be a limit. And of course, we've carried that on from original because it contains it. There's a couple of levels of containment. Now, the next level of containment that you have in your aircraft is the radio line of sight. Obviously, you don't fly it beyond where you've got radio link. So you've got this, and we've seen some remarkable advances in radio line of sight. So let's just put a 5 kilometre limit on that at the moment. EVLOS, which is extended visual line of sight, which is, I found out there's only 3 people with EVLOS, and I still can't find out more than that at the moment. So we've had that for 12 months, as you know. And so technically, once we've got this FPV aircraft on our REOC, we can fly it as an EVLOS flight, no problem at all. But boy, the paperwork, we've got to do risk assessment for wherever we fly.
And you need an IREX currently.
Yeah, that's right. So one of the things about, exactly, and so it's the EVLOS thing is not going to be the way it's going to go. We're looking, and this is interestingly, this is all for REOC holders. This is a recreational drone. It really
Absolutely.
is. It's a recreational aircraft. And so I agree with John wholehearted. The best way is the MAAA. It's a legal way to fly it, and you can go there. They've got procedures. They have an observer. There's plenty of people at the club, so you can go on your own and ask someone to observe for you. And off you go. You'll have a jolly good time, and it is legal. So there's a way to do it. The way for the REOC holder and doing it that way is just not there yet in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Now, there's people.
Can I just jump in for a second, John? So we had the discussion with John Fleming and me, and I already knew that John Morrison had already communicated what you just said to me. So the fact that we've got 2 differing viewpoints, this whole thing and this aircraft and the whole idea of flying FPV and BVLOS is totally confusing in this country at the moment. And I don't think CASA has done a good enough job at communicating what it is you can and can't do. I mean, the fact is, put aside the aircraft for just a minute, and everyone who's already flying their own drones and flying bandos and fields and paddocks and all of this kind of stuff, and they're doing it with goggles. CASA's never said anything about that.
Well, here's the thing, and Lloyd brought this up last week, which is interesting. If you say you're flying visual line of sight, you've got your Mavic 2 and you're holding a smart controller or your screen, and you're looking at visual line of sight, and you look down to check your fuel status or perhaps look at the screen to get a camera. So the aircraft is still within visual line of sight. You're not actually looking at it, right? You're not actually looking at it.
That's not what the regulation says, though.
That's right. That's exactly right. So do you not ever look down from the aircraft itself? Do you maintain, like it says, actually constant? You've got to be able
continually
to
see, correct. Yeah, the regulation states, don't quote me on it, but the pilot must be able to continually see and orient the aircraft to meet the collision avoidance responsibility.
There's the word you just said, though, John. The pilot's got to be able to see.
Yeah.
Be able to see.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually say you must continually look at the aircraft.
No, that's correct.
And so when you must be able to see, so interesting then. So if we fly the aircraft, and look, I don't advocate flying this aircraft without an observer unless you're out in the desert somewhere. But even then, it's not a good idea because you get bitten by a snake or something while you've got the goggles on. You've got no awareness around you at all. I can tell you, it's pretty spooky when you're on your own because. But look, there are lots of issues. I agree, John. There's a lot of that's not clear about it in terms of what's able. And Lloyd said, "Oh yeah, well you can look in your goggles and check your fuel, and then look up at the aircraft. Look in your goggles, have a quick look, just like looking down at the screen, and as you would, but look in the goggles. Well, I mean, primarily,
that would be
primarily.
Just to lead on from what John was sort of getting at, and I think where we're headed is this technology is not going away ever. It's not going to be a flash in the pan thing that we see a bit of a, that was a fad back in the day. This VR has been around for a long time. I remember playing virtual reality games 15 years ago where you stood with the big helmet on your head. So this sort of tech is not going away. And, the regulation just hasn't kept up with it, and changes will come. They will come. And it's amazingly exciting technology. How good is that drone? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And by the way, I wasn't trying to set you up, but I did know that there was a different opinion with, and I wanted to butt heads on that,
Yeah,
so
no,
that we
agreed
can
completely.
highlight. I wanted to
I've been
highlight. Yeah, I wanted to highlight the confusion
Yeah.
about the
The
topic.
information I was given is in contradiction to what John was saying. I was told by the MAAA that the insurance will cover you anywhere, and you have
Correct.
ability to
Correct.
hide
The
anywhere.
insurance may cover you anywhere, but the ability to fly BVLOS, my understanding is the regulations delegate the procedures to the MAAA and any other similar organisations,
and I
but
don't
they
have
are
that
restricted.
info. I'll take that under advisement because I'm not privy to that direct info. So yeah, good point.
Okay. Let me see. Other thoughts and comments about the FPV aircraft yourself? You've been flying it?
Look, I think it's an awesome bit of kit. I've loved FPV sort of flying for forever, and you know, DJI are great at what they do. They've got an endless supply of money to throw into R&D, and you know, and we all benefit from it. That drone is just ridiculously good. Not just for the enthusiast. I've got to tell you, it'll be used in production. It's a cracker to be able to chase drift cars and mountain bikers down hills and all sorts of other high-speed stuff, you know, boats on the water, high-speed yachts, whatever it is. It's a kicker. It's a game changer. Game changer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just a question from Joe Blaylock. What commercial pilots fly VLS at night in weather, or do they have an instrument rating?
Commercial pilot, as in manned aircraft pilot? Is that the question there?
I don't know.
I think that's what he's referring to.
Look, a manned aircraft pilot needs special ratings to fly at night. I'm a pilot, but I'm a daytime pilot only. VFR, visual flight rules. Not allowed to fly at night. Not allowed to fly in cloud. All that sort of stuff. So there are different endorsements to fly at night for the manned aircraft world. Correct.
Yeah. So maybe the simple answer is there needs to be an ILS rating equivalent for drones.
Yeah, and then that's coming. At the moment, it's IREX. And if people don't know what IREX is, it's an instrument rating for manned aircraft. So to fly commercially a drone with a REOC beyond visual line or extended visual line of sight, the IREX is still a requirement. I have word that is changing in the future. I don't know how far it's off. It could be weeks, months, or a year. I don't know, but it's coming where there'll be endorsements to allow that.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do right now, because John is frozen again, we're going to disconnect all of our guests because that seems to be the only way we can actually get this to work. We're going to disconnect everyone and restart. Yeah, reconnect. There we go. And John has come back as a black blob, or at least that's what we can see.
We get frozen.
Remember, everybody take another drink.
Wait, I'll get my hand sanitizer out.
Okay. Look, I tell you what, we're going to do something while we wait. Let's disconnect and reconnect one more time. I'll just get my producer to do that. We love you, Wirecast. Oh, yes, we do. Nope, still frozen black thing. You've been Fred. Maybe you can be Barney next time, John.
I was going to say Wilma, but then again.
One more time for luck. Here's the last one. Disconnect. Reconnect. And we've got Fred coming back now. There we go. So we'll get John back in a couple of moments. But no, he's come back as a black blob again.
Gotta love technology.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to... Yeah, I know. Thanks. I don't have a Microshaft Windblows machine, but now it's time for...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to play Stump the Yank.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've got our guest over here, John Fleming, who's a Dicky Aussie, and he's going to come up with some questions to stump our very own fake Aussie, Mr. Lloyd Mendenhall, because it's time to play Stump the Yank. Okay, where's the music? Let's kill that a little bit.
Lloyd, my friend.
Yes.
I got a question for you. What is a greengrocer, a brown baker, and a black prince? There's an easy one to start. What are they? Greengrocer, brown baker, black prince.
I don't know what a black prince is. A green grocer, I would assume somebody sells vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
And brown baker, I have no clue other than somebody who's a baker, but you know.
The other boys want to comment? What are they, boys? Put him out of his misery.
I'm a bit confused. Is it a sausage?
Oh, we'll stump the Aussie. No. They're an insect. They're a cicada. Remember the
cicada?
Oh,
Yeah,
cicadas. Have you got funky names, Lloyd, for your cicadas in the States?
No, just annoyed.
Yeah. that's got a Melbourne.
Only you
Melbourne
Aussies, you Aussies and the Irish and the Scots are the only ones that come up with all these weird names.
Well, similar. What's a budgie smuggler?
Oh,
he's got that one.
Easy.
Oh, he's got that. Oh, he's got
Yeah.
Please don't put them on, Lloyd.
No, I don't wear my budgie smugglers on camera. No.
Thank you. Please.
all right.
You don't wear them on camera,
doing?
but I've heard, Lloyd, that you do wear them outside your jeans and your pants while you're walking down the street. But that's another
Superman.
story.
It's only when I got my cape on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
What would I be doing if I was doing a doughy?
Oh.
Doing a doughy.
Well,
Think Homer Simpson.
No.
No?
it's related. It's related.
Motor vehicle related.
It's related.
A donut, you know, but
It's a related
going around in a circle.
donut.
Yeah, that's it. Doing a doughy is doing a donut. It's a burn out the car.
Okay,
Full
all
lock, foot on the accelerator.
Right,
Yeah, doing a doughy. I'll give you a bit of a sensible one, I guess, because it's aviation related. David Warren, do we know he's an Australian? What's his connection to the Australian aviation world? David Warren, back in 1953.
Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this because I should know this because my mate Grant, Mr. Stay Drunk, who's in the chat, we've talked about this. I'm just going to say I'm too old to remember.
Really
Well,
important bit
you
of
were around at the time. You were at least around at the time.
Yeah, but I can't. I should know that. I should know this, but I cannot make the connection today.
You've always said many times that Australians invent things and then other people steal them. So what would he invent related to aviation?
Important piece of technology on just about every major commercial aircraft on the planet.
I'll give you a hint. What did we talk about last week? What was the topic of the show?
Why hell, I've slept since then. I don't remember. Last I remember,
you absolutely win. He invented. He invented the black box flight recorder.
Now I was thinking GPS.
Black box, 1953. What a legend!
Yeah, he was a cicada.
Oh man, that's bad. Because Grant's going to see what happens. I'll get off here and I'll talk to him on TeamSpeak, and he's going to give me the whole history of it and chew me out for not already knowing this because we've talked about that before.
Okay. So we've got. Have you got one more, or are we good?
One more. Oh my goodness.
Well, if you've got it. If you haven't, it's okay.
One more. What have I got?
Good, because you got a couple of those. I had no clue. The budgie smugglers, I knew. That was
because you wear them on the outside all the time.
Yeah.
It's not Superman.
With my long pants. It doesn't look good with the shorts, but long pants and my cape, That's an image you didn't want, right?
Let's leave it there. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Stick around for a couple of minutes, John. We've got a few news stories, some of which you'll love to see and potentially comment on. So we're going to go to our next one right now. Now, you've seen the bowling video, the FPV trip through a bowling alley. You've seen that, have you?
Yep. Amazing footage.
So we've got something that was from ABC News, and we're going to watch the video footage now. This is the production team behind this one-take drone video inside a bowling alley, and they explain how they did it.
I think there's some skepticism there of it being a true one-take. It is a true one-take. There's no CGI. You know, that was kind of interesting, but also the positive nature of it, of people seeing the skill that it takes and the unique ability to like combine the skill of an amazing pilot, the technology of the drone, and the story that, and thank you, the story that actually can be told through a one take. It's a Cinewoop, and so it's literally just a quad that it's pretty small and able to fit through small spaces. And the transmitter is this camera down here, and it just goes right to the goggles. And then the GoPro's it's getting your cinematic video at the end of the day. And obviously, there's no audio you can get from it because it's a buzzing drone. So everything for sound has always got to be in post, no matter what, unfortunately. So I've been flying drones since 2014, and back then it was just wild to see a camera be able to go in the sky. And yeah, we used like GoPros back then, and the footage was terrible. It was just a cool thing to know that there'd be a lot of innovation with it in years to come. And now it's to the point where you're able to see a live view of what the drone sees, and it's really small, and it can fit through these small spaces and really get to see the whole scene inside and out in one shot. And that really can be a great way to tell a story.
Yeah, so a couple of things out of that. Firstly, the commentary about the audio. So I didn't want to play the whole clip again because everyone's seen it. It's been going around. But the audio of the conversations that people are having as you fly close to them inside the bowling alley, absolutely incredible. The other thing is they would have had to have done that under a REOC, I'm assuming, because they did actually start the flight from outside. Any thoughts, comments from John M first and then John F?
You know, I'm not going to add to whatever legalities there were in making this today, because we don't really know anyway. But what I'd like to start with is saying, you know, we always think of these aircraft as being in a racing format, you know, which is exciting as well. We're going to see that thing grow and the interest in racing. This is cinematic action photography. You know, the way the footage I've seen recently of mountain biking and skiing and all of these things, this is a world that you need those sort of skills to fly. And obviously this video just shows where the top end really is.
I've had guys sending me photos of little rigs, little drones, not much bigger than the one we just saw, flying $10,000 cameras with $10,000 lenses attached to the damn things.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
If you think it's only the DJI FPV drone that they're going to want to fly cinematically, think again.
No, that's right. And I mean the beautiful stuff that you've got when you do fly in manual mode, like surfing down buildings and you know through buildings. So it's just fantastic. And so there's going to be more of that, I suppose, used in Hollywood. You know, we see often they use CGI, but now we've got a way of taking a camera in places at its speeds that were never really thought of before. You know, no camera dolly or any other thing is going to do this, but a quad, a fast quad, and someone with the good hands, you know, that knows what they're doing with it. So there's a whole industry.
There's been a company around for a long time that does this sort of product in a company called Team Black Sheep. I used to sell a lot of their product back in the day. Some of their videos around the world are astonishing. Legalities aside, they're astonishing.
Yeah, they are. So what I love about it more than anything, John, is that it's a real hobby. You know, I mean, and I think that's what sort of the FPV community is sort of saying. You know, you're only really getting a taste of the hobby if you use the DJI aircraft. Yep. And in a sense, you are. I mean, you know, all of our first drones, we built, and I love the building element of it. I could never quite persevere enough to get those very small autopilots to do exactly what I wanted in the FPV aircraft. Well, one of the guys that flies with us, Paul, is really right into it, and he's doing great things with it. But he says, can I tell
you the very first drone that I ever built to fly FPV style, if you like, never had a flight controller, mate. It was 4 tail gyros from a 450 size heli. Right. And we used a Futaba radio with Blackmagic 120-degree swash programming to get this thing to fly. And I still reckon they fly better than anything that's in a box now.
Amazing. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting non-autopilot. And those gyros that we originally had for tail rotors, I did model helicopter as well, and I had a camera on the helicopter. It was nothing better. I found it very difficult to fly a petrol engine model helicopter, even with gyros. And so, you've got to pay a bit of respect to where the whole sport and the hobby has come over so many years. And yet we've got a consumer product now. So be it. It's not going to take the hobby away. The only thing I can think of is it's actually going to draw people into the hobby because they're going to get a chance to fly. There's going to be half of us are going to want to race and go fast because that's exciting. Some of us that like the cinematic footage are going to go that way, and who knows, there might be another fantastic way to use this sport or to enjoy this sport outside racing and cinematography. We don't know that yet as people take it up and invent new ways to enjoy it.
It's amazing.
And a quick interruption on the screen. Quick super chat from Wayne King. Hi, Greg, Lloyd, John, and John. You and your team helped me back in the day when I started flying drones. Thank you. Thank you, Wayne, for the $20. Thanks, it all helps.
Yep.
The only thing I'll say at the moment is for people who don't live in America, we're now getting taxed on super chats. Did you know that? YouTube is now starting to tax people outside the US, but that's another story for another day.
Wow.
I just thought I'd throw that in.
Can't run away from the IRS.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Lloyd. Look, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to do another story, and I'll just throw my producer out of whack. We're going to do 1.09, and that story is this one. So every now and again, you've got to move house when you're moving house, and it's always a challenge. And who thought filming the whole operation by drone could be so interesting? Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand on the sidewalk. There's a house coming down the street.
Oh, actually moving the house. Wow.
This is absolutely insane. And by the way, I'll just quickly interrupt and thank you, Artco, for the $5 super chat as well. You just paid the tax on the other one. Does anyone else want to contribute to the tax fund?
Yeah,
this video...
They're equal to the same amount. One was 20 Australian, the other was 5 American, so...
Yeah, this video is absolutely amazing.
When you said moving house, I didn't realise it was like moving the house.
Yeah, you don't see that every day, do you? You just don't. Whoa, 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 look at that, look at that, look at that.
Whoops.
Back it up.
Oh, that's great.
They got to move the signs so he can fit through.
Put them back on the other way.
But in terms of drone footage, what a great piece of subject material to go and film.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. That's about half of the video. And again, as always, I encourage our viewers to go and watch the original footage and, on the original creators' channels. Make sure that they get some advertising revenue out of it. But great, great, great material. Now, we're going to do something else a little bit more fun. Since we've got some interesting people here, it's time for...
Oh, dear.
Okay. Really simple. John F., you've got a joke. Your goal is to tell the joke, and the other three people on the screen, we've got to try and keep a straight face. If it's a good enough joke, you'll make one of us crack up.
My daughter is, she's the queen of dad jokes, so I went away and pulled up dad jokes everywhere because she's the crack. And the first one that came up in the list actually is aircraft related again. Funny enough, it's the first one that came up, and it was, where does a mountain climber keep his plane?
Where does a mountain climber keep his plane? I don't know.
In a cliffhanger. I can't even keep a straight face on that one.
I'm smiling, but you got a chuckle out of John, so that's one for you.
All right. The other one that she gave me a while ago was, what do you call a Mexican who's lost his vehicle? Carlos.
Carlos.
Oh,
I love those ones.
that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one.
What do you call a man standing at your doorstep? Matt.
What?
Oh my goodness.
I like that one. I like
What
that
do you
one.
call a man swimming in the pool with no arms and no legs?
Bob.
Bob.
My daughter's the dad jokes from her.
Oh,
Are
yeah. What do you
amazing.
call a man in the bushes? Russell.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Lloyd?
love those.
What's the best thing about Switzerland?
What?
I don't know, but the flag's a big plus.
Ah, boom, boom.
One more for you. Two men walk into a bar. One says, "Ouch."
Why don't oysters donate to charity? Because they're shellfish.
Yeah, there's no pork.
dear.
Mate, there's no pork.
Skeleton walks into a bar and asks for a drink and a mop.
Yep.
Okay, enough frivolity. Let me now move on to a couple of other things over here. We've got super chats coming in, a
That
couple
was
of them
hard to keep a
to.
straight face through.
Which
all
is
those.
quite amazing after those jokes, I might say.
You guys are paying for this?
I mean, I would have said that people would be taking their super chats back.
Yeah,
Asking for a
Here's
refund.
one from Joe. Yeah, here's one from Joe Blaylock.
So we had the $5 one from Artco. Greg wears
Yeah.
Kookaburra Smugglers. Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Budgie's not.
and
Yeah.
Joe,
Joe Blaylock. Here is $10 US
$12.34.
plus tax.
Oh, that's funny. That's good.
1, 2,
That's
3, 4. Okay.
That's the funniest joke of the day.
That's a good one. And we got one more.
We do.
Ben T.
Oh yeah, I missed that one. Sorry, Ben. I didn't even see that one. No, I
Yeah,
thought
in
I put
case
that
you're
one
wondering,
there.
it's Lloyd that puts these on the screen. Oz by Drone, you can redirect some of the funds from the Wirecast aggravation fund to the tax fund. Okay.
Yeah, see, I missed that one. I guess I
Yeah,
started.
there'll be
to put it out
plenty
there,
of money
didn't-
for that.
Yeah. Okay, look, enough of the joking bit of the show. We've got, what time have we got? 11:57. We're already at that time. Let me see. Which ones do I absolutely want to do? I've got the Tesla stuff. I've got a force multiplier. Or I've got a river. Which one do you want?
You got some nice footage for us to look at?
Do you want river footage or do you want Tesla footage?
Oh, look, let's have a look at the river.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do
the
that.
river.
So this is 1.07 for my producer. The St. Lawrence River in Canada has long been an area to track the animals and learn more. Drones have now joined in on the fun by allowing the River Institute to map the river and track the wildlife at a much lower cost. Let's play the video and I'll talk over the top of it.
Whoa.
Turn that down a little bit.
What have they chucked on top of that
biologist-
Phantom?
I'll let you know. Biologist Matt Windle began using drones back in 2013 to track the critically endangered American eels. The eels were equipped with a tracker that the drone could pick up and watch as the eels made their way down the river. Before this, Windle and his team would track the eels by chasing them in a boat to keep them in range of the signal. Not only was this hard to do, but it also required multiple people and a lot of time to get usable data. They eventually rented a small plane, but now, obviously, they're doing it with drones. Really good use of drone technology in
is.
conservation.
I'm feeling a bit ill, actually.
My question is why? Why
What
do
about-
you got to track eels?
Well, you know,
Because they're endangered.
yeah, they're endangered. One day we're going to send drones out for you, Grumpy.
Probably,
Looking for you.
yeah. I was going to say, you guys have Darwin down there, so it all started with you guys. So
Yeah, that's right.
isn't it survival of the fittest? Just let the damn things die.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, that works across a number of things here, We just had a pandemic, in case you didn't realise.
The only thing that worries me is if you were an eel, where do you tie the tracker to?
I think that's it. I just noticed what they've stuck on top of the Phantom. So if you've got ideas about putting things on top of the Phantom, just remember the GPS is there in the actual dome part. And so if you get a suction cap and put something on it, and you come into strife with anything electronic, just be careful. It's better to offset it or use the landing gear or something else away from the top of the aircraft, because the GPS is up there.
They've come up with this idea for tracking eels, and they're not smart enough to know that the GPS antenna's on top.
Yeah, I know.
Survival of the fittest.
Man, we see some
people shouldn't breed.
We see some crazy stuff out there. I just got my new fitting for the PPK GPS, Greg, for the M2. I'm using an M lid on the side. But traditionally, we'd had a separate battery and everything. And now a company in Peru has worked out a way to actually get power out of the USB port on the Phantom, which I didn't think was really hard, but there was a problem with how much current the M2 draw. Anyway, I won't go into the technical details, but just to let you know, lots of people hang all sorts of stuff off their Phantom. And it's still one of the great camera platforms, for photogrammetry, for video. And I mean, we're still hanging on to ours. We've got lots of other toys, but there's one Phantom here that earns most of the money.
Yeah, and I've still got mine, and I swear by it. The only thing I wish it was a V2, but anyway, it is what it is. So we reached the end of our show. It's now 12 o'clock Sydney time for us to pack up and go. But don't forget, do watch Ready, Set, Drone. They're on straight right. They've started a couple of minutes ago. Any last words from you, John F?
Yeah, I'm going to go and get my boat drone.
Oh, you're very quiet. Hang on.
Yeah, look at that.
Try again.
I'm going to get my boat drone and sail it to New Zealand.
You're going to get your boat drone and sail it to New Zealand.
I'll send out a Phantom with a tracker looking for you, mate.
Thanks for having me on the show, gentlemen. It's been awesome. It's been great. Nice to meet Lloyd and now Gus again.
Same here with you.
Been a hoot. Thank you.
I would ask you a question. In times to come, being involved in the training industry, I'd love to have like a question of the week, a drone knowledge related question of the week, kind of like Stump the Yank, but Stump the Droner.
Yep, that's a great idea. Always a good thing.
Yeah, more education is always good.
Yep, we can find rules that would apply to both, people all around the world in terms of the obvious questions that most of us know anyway. But it's good to dig into those, and it'd be great to have John on to talk us through some of those.
Happy to be a part.
Absolutely. Grumpy.
I'm just trying to get my dog to quit howling in the background. He's a Great Pyrenees, so he had to come in, check me out, and I don't know. Anyway, it was great meeting you, John. The other John, not
me.
That one down there. I've known you long enough, so meet a new John. But anyways, it's really nice having you on here. It was fun, and hey, we'll see everybody next week.
And Mr. Morrison, last thoughts, and especially wrap up about AAUS. Any last comments about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Big thank you to AAUS. Check out their website. There's lots and lots of cast or podcast and webcast about what's just going on with the regulations at the moment. Join up AAUS if you feel the need. I certainly recommend it. They've done a great things for the industry and changed a lot of things within the Australian industry. So hang on to them. And if you're out there flying your FPV drone, your new DJI drone, be super careful, guys. And as John says, check out the MAAA. Check out the Australian Model Aerosports Association is another one that has a few, and there's probably a local club in your area and you might meet some great people and fly with them and have a good time there too. So check that out.
Okay. That's all we've got time for today. A couple of quick community service announcements, as always, at the end. If you want to send us some video footage, that's where you send it. Upload at gregcoonett.com. If you would like to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, DLive, and a few more, that's where you do it, at AusBuyDrone. Or if you want to send us anything physical, and here's a challenge. I once had a package come from Chris, and I'd like to challenge other people watching us to send a postcard. Just something different, something that we can share, postcards from different places around the world that you can send in. I'll put the address up one more time. 5/127 Princes Highway, Sylvania, New South Wales 2224. And we'll share them and let people know what it is that we found from around the world. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being part of the show. If you're not already subscribed, hit the button. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you
See
guys.
y'all.
Bye-bye.